Dixie. I hope you're having a great day and hope it only gets better. Welcome to another Let's Draw. It's been a little bit since I did that, and still haven't finished that thing of Roxy. I'll get into that in a second. First things, most importantly first, I would like to point out that it is currently just about 5 a.m. when I'm recording this, so I'm going to try and keep my voice down a little bit out of the respect for the other people in my house, but I was planning on recording Hollow Knight, because, I want to play Hollow Knight more. However, I have run into some issues where I started drawing something, namely the thing that we're going to be working on in this video today. We're going to be doing... There, like that's how I do arrows. The thing we're going to be doing today on this episode of Let's Draw. Close enough, whatever. However, with this being a personal project that I was kind of working on and not recording and was doing for fun, I lost track of time very quickly. So what ended up happening was I lost track of time and I started, just working on the thing we're to be working on, and then it was like 5 a.m. So I tried to fix my sleep schedule by the usual method of just sleeping as long as I can and then, staying awake through the day, and kind of fixed it. I was feeling tired around the time that I should, and then I tried to get an emulator working so I could play the Ratchet & Clank games that I have not gotten to and been able to play yet, which didn't work, and I can't play them, so I'll just need an actual PS3 at some point to be able to play those, which sucks. And that's today, and I only gave up around the time it was once again 5 a.m. So it is now currently Monday, 5 a.m. on a Monday, the day I normally record, and I am not going to be awake enough to play Hollow Knight. So I figured, hey, I was gonna work more on this little personal project, I was going to do that anyway, so I might as well record a little bit of a Let's Draw. So this is very spontaneous. There's probably not going to be there's definitely not going to be multiple parts to this one specifically. It's probably just going to be this one-off just for, content for this week. But I suppose with that, I should probably get to actually what we are drawing today. And let me actually fix the... Where is she at? There we go. Let's get the Let's Draw logo out of the way, and Wowee. Hello. Yeah, I had some, I had a pretty bad case of brain rot, and I just really wanted to draw Empress, and so I did, and I'm doing that. This I've been working on quite a lot. This has basically just been the only thing I've been drawing these past few days, just kind of adding stuff and being very nitpicky about it because she deserves it. And so basically that's all I wanted to say about this. I've been very nitpicky. I've been working on this on and off, and I'm actually going to be doing an alt for Patreon this time. Haven't done that before. I've done, I hesitate to say exclusive Patreon art, but I have posted art things that only show up on my Patreon, which categorically makes them Patreon exclusive art. But I don't think I've ever done a exclusive full project for just Patreon. There have been the D&D artifacts that I was non-consensually commissioned by a friend for, which is a funny story. But those weren't exclusively for Patreon because, they were originally for my friend that I also posted them to Patreon as an exclusive. So not wholly exclusive. This will be the first time I'm actually doing an exclusive for Patreon, which I'm seeing right now just here for a second. I forgot to turn off one of the parts of the exclusive. She got that belly button piercing. So let me accessories, navel. There we go. So with the help of editing, I won't be showing the alt that I'm doing here because it's not sexually explicit, so to speak, but I'm not wholly comfortable with showing it on YouTube just in case. Even this, I'm a little bit iffy on because, she's got just the Grand Canyon of cleavage. I'm not sure how YouTube will feel about that, but with the help of editing, I will give you a very, very brief look at what you can expect on the Patreon exclusive alt. Ooh, that was fast. Ooh, that's all you're getting, though. That's all you're getting. If you want to see that finished product and the more of that sketch, unless you happen to pause it. But even then, it's not full resolution. It looks like you'll have to sub to my Patreon. That's a shame. Which I will say though, on top of, I think we'll just start with. I want to give her rings because I noticed her hands are kind of bland, and even though I go for very simplistic cartoony hands, because A, hands are hard to draw, B, I draw cartoony anyway. She's supposed to have rings, because, you know, she owns a jewelry store. She's a mafia boss, Yakuza boss, but she also owns a jewelry store, and she's got a whole bunch of jewelry anyway. She's got earrings, she's got this, I guess that would be kind of like a tiara? I don't know, is it like a hair clip? I guess it's like a gold hair clip. I do jewelry in white, if you couldn't tell, which if you watched my other Let's Draw on Roxy, then I think you most definitely would have seen me turning on that section of my brain saying, hey, I can make the jewelry distinct by making it white instead of black in the sketch. I do that now. But right, I was going to do rings. And before that, I was going to talk about, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was, I was going to bring up, on top of doing an alt for Patreon of that very sneaky thing that I put in that you only got a brief glimpse of course. I am also, as you can tell from my hectic groups over here, granted this is just a sketch, I'm also going to do like toggles. Namely, I can show you actually. It'll be more difficult to see because I guess in theory, it doesn't really matter if because there's nothing here, it's featureless, but I think YouTube might still get angry with me. There's nothing here. I tried. I did try, but I'm not too confident in drawing naughty bits yet. We'll just leave it at that. You can see enough, just for the example I'm trying to do. Let's see, where did I put them? Where? Arms? I think, yeah, it's under arms, but as you can see in my groups over here, I have more scars, even more scars, and yet more scars. In case people really like scars, I have an option where you just absolutely destroy her arms with scars, which, even then, her having scars on her arm is an artistic liberty anyway, so if anyone on the Patreon wants to have it be more accurate to her like in-game design, which this is absolutely not, but this is how I see her in my head. You can go with no scars on her arms like she is in game, a little bit of scars, a couple more scars, or just a whole bunch of scars. And if the dress wasn't in the way, I wonder if, hold on, what if okay. I was trying to, oh, I know. What if I just take away the erasure mask, and then zoom in real close? You can see in here there are also scars on her torso. There we go. That's a good way to show it. Just figured I'd bring that up. On top of the different outfit, I'm also throwing in some toggles for anyone on the Patreon who wants a specific combination of various different possibilities, I guess is the best way to put it. Big problem with the time I'm recording right now is I am not just tired, but I am exhausted from messing with an emulator all day, so my brain's kind of fried. But there was another thing. Oh, right, I was going to point out that in the accessories section here, I do have these, or I will have these all on toggles as well. So if you want the chains there, you can have them there. If you want just the top chains or just the bottom chains. Oh, it's a good thing I did that because I put the ring on a separate thing. Or on the same thing, rather, it's just the problem. Let's fix that. Hey, you. Control X, Control V, wow. And rename that to ring. Do I bother making those multiple? I'll bother making them multiple. We'll put that in its own group as well. Hey. Ring. Yeah. And what I've been doing is, what I will also end up doing is color coding the various groups and layers based on what they fall under. So the yellow ones are largely meant to be exclusive to the primary version with the dress. So as you can see, they are directly attached to parts of the dress and go with the dress. But I was messing around with them, and with the super secretive Patreon alt, these chains do just coincidentally go with parts of it. I'm pretty sure the bottom chains work fine with it. It does look a little weird because, you know, they're not meant to do that, but you can. So yellow is for dress, and then the pink is for the super secretive Patreon alt, as you can see by these little hoops down here that connect with the mysterious straps that go down her legs, and this little subtle navel piercing. That's pretty much what you can expect for the Patreons, which I will really quickly try my best to thank. Which, now that I bring this up, it's a very good thing that I decided to cut my losses and just be like, I'll just say thanks to all of my patrons to save myself some sanity, so to speak. How many rings do you want? In-game, she has a ring on each finger, so I guess we'll try that. Just for the sake of my sanity, thanks to all of my patrons. Your support is very much appreciated. Every day of my life, I am very happy to actually have people who support me and what I'm doing. And indirectly or not, I just realized I put that all on the same layer, but it looks dumb anyway. It actually encouraged me to do more shit. Because on top of just being able to do this wonderful thing I love doing, which is, oh, wow, recording me doing something I enjoy anyway and just talking about nothing, I also have the added benefit of potential monetary benefit, so I can hopefully eventually turn this into a career. And I appreciate that very much. And the reason I'm, I guess, being so quick on the draw with thanking my patrons this time around in this specific video is largely because in, I think, every live video, like live recorded video uploaded this year, I have pretty consistently forgotten to thank my patrons, at least while I was recording. I of course edited in the thanks, because, you know, that is a perk for supporting me on Patreon, so I'm going to do my best to include it. So I guess I'm just being safer by making that one of my first talking points is to directly thank my patrons. I'm not sure if I'll do the Patreon plug right meow, but I might. That's entirely dependent on if I can keep my brain on a single track, at least for a little bit. I think the reason that looks weird is because she doesn't have a bracelet on her right arm, which I tried, but I couldn't get it to look right, but I guess we'll try it now. Rename these real quick to Ring C, Ring B, and Ring A. There we go. Rings. Cool. I'll do some extra little details of like gems and stuff in a little bit. But now that I have, at least for now, oh wait, no, there is one extra thing that I wanted to bring up about the whole thanking my patrons thing. So in, I believe, the second episode of Hollow Knight? I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was the second episode of Hollow Knight. I basically recorded a pre-recorded message for specifically thanking my patrons, and I had the thought to basically splice that in with my with like a pre-set up like motion graphics template, which is a thing you can do with Adobe Premiere. So I could save myself effort of A, remembering to do the Patreon thing, and B, trying to essentially freeball it anytime I go for trying to do it live, which I feel like I do pretty okay, but I do forget some talking points sometimes, which can be a little bit frustrating, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. I always get the important stuff out, like thanking my patrons, talking about the benefits, the most important benefits being, you know, like early access and stuff. It's kind of funny how I'm tangentially, not tangentially, indirectly talking, like plugging my Patreon right now, just because I'm trying to be very specific about what's going on in my brain, because, you know, this is a commentary-based series, so I need to be sure of what I'm talking about, why I'm talking about it, and the reasoning for me talking about it, which is the same thing as why I'm talking about it. It is amazing how absolutely trash this series is, honestly. I do weirdly enjoy it, though. But anyway, as I was saying, I was basically thinking about using that template, or that as a template, rather, so I could save myself a little bit of effort in like my commentary, trying to remember I need to do the Patreon thing, as well as some editing time, because those Patreon plugs, they aren't the most, like, not resource intensive, but just, what's the word I'm looking for? Labor intensive, I guess is the best way to put it. They're not hard to do. They're not hard to edit. They're fairly simple. It's just basically me throwing in several pictures and animating them to slide in with some sound effects, which I can do right now. Huh. and then it goes away. Wow. I don't know. I don't know what image Snowy put in, but I'm sure she picked something fine. It was probably the I enjoy picture that I like a whole lot. Oh, an alligator this time. Was it doing the funny, but yeah, it was. Hell yeah. But anyway, those really aren't hard to do. Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. Do we want to go 2 or just the 1? I think we'll just do the 1. They're hard to do. However, they do, because just the nature of editing on a whole, they do take a little bit to put together. So I was thinking of putting together a decently big motion graphics template to just kind of save me some extra time in having essentially my Patreon plug already like edited for me, and I just need to line it up with the pre-recorded like plug that I have anyway in case I forget. But I pretty much just want that to be like, I guess, a sort of last resort, because I would like to be able to do it live, because I feel like it's more meaningful. And I really want that to be as meaningful as possible, because it does mean a whole lot to me that people are bothering to, give me money and support me for just doing this, I guess. It's still a weird concept to me, but I do very much appreciate it. I don't want anyone to think like I'm ungrateful or anything. Especially given how like small I am, like as a channel. I feel like I am inherently more connected to my community than some bigger channels, because there's just so much less people to actually worry about. And because there's so much less people to actually, worry about addressing and stuff, I feel like it's much more easy to connect. So anytime I try to reach out to my community in any way, usually just from messages in my videos and stuff, I want to ensure that it's like coming from like a point of sincerity, I guess is exactly the thing I was looking for, and I'm surprised that my brain actually caught up that time. Oh, maybe I'm getting better at this whole drawing and commentary thing. But I want it to come from a point of sincerity so I can really get across how much it means to me that people are supporting me in the way that they are. So I'm not sure, I guess this is the whole point of this, I'm not sure if I'm going to end up just doing the like canned animation, like the pre-recorded message thing. I'm still going to do my best to do it live, but in case I ever do forget, which will happen because just the nature of ADD, I'll probably have that on backlog just in case, but it won't be like my first choice, like my go-to. But with that talking point out of the way, does that look dumb? Does that look weird? I think that looks fine. With that talking point out of the way, there is another thing I wanted to bring up that's not related to Patreon, but it is still related to like my channel and my personal experience with like exposure to a wider onset of people, and it was positive, which usually doesn't happen in that sort of thing. Usually when it comes to the size of my channel and wider onset of people, it usually involves me being upset that I can't seem to reach a wider onset of people, and I'm really just kind of stuck in my own bubble with the same 100-ish people that usually watch my videos, which granted I'm greatly appreciative for. While I am doing this almost entirely as a hobby and I just want it to be a career at some point, I would still like to at least try to accelerate that process so I can really get the ball rolling with that. But that's just nature of YouTube. That's just how it is. Yeah. Was this the erasure mask fucking with me, or just was not loading? I think it's being slow. I should also mention that I am also reinstalling Red Dead 2 while I'm doing this, so my computer is kind of chugging a bit. But anyway, the thing I was talking about reaching a larger onset of people. I won't give specifics purely for the respect of my own privacy. However, the other day, I saw someone talking in a Discord that I am in. It is not my Discord. It is not the Vixie's Coyote Den Discord, which it has now been renamed to because, the JR community doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. It was just a separate Discord that I will, for the respect of my own privacy, not give many details on. But I will admit that it was horny. It is a horny Discord. That I will directly say because I don't really care. Y'all, purely looking at this, you can tell I'm a horny person anyway, so you can probably assume that I'm in a couple horny Discords. But anyway, somebody posted in that Discord, basically saying that they hadn't tried drawing. Given the context, I thought they were talking about just like at all. Like they've wanted to start drawing just in general, but they haven't done it yet. But I don't know the specific context because I literally just popped in and said one thing. But basically, I popped in to really quickly say some words of encouragement and basically say that, oh god, what I said was a really good quote. And I'm pretty sure that's because I took it from something, but I don't remember. It was, the best time to start drawing is many years ago. The second best time is right now, is what I said. Which I absolutely took that from somewhere, not specifically about drawing, but I took it from somewhere. And that's why it's, like, good. I've had some good quotes in the past myself, but that one definitely wasn't one. I'm not taking credit for that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna split these into two. Because on one hand, I kind of like the two bracelets. On the other, I don't. So I'm gonna do the smart thing, and I'm going to make those toggles as well. But anyway, I basically popped in. I said that thing about the second best time is right now, and I was expecting, as far as replies go, to just be at most them replying saying, "Oh, thanks, TY smiley face," because that's basically every other interaction I've had on any Discord. But I actually got a substantially different reaction than I was expecting. And that was somebody, not the person I was like encouraging to do art stuff. Somebody else replied saying, "Oh hey, I never thought I'd bump into a YouTuber I randomly watched," and apparently that person had just recently watched my Pal World commentary that I posted last week before. I'm not sure how the timelines work out when I take a week off. So it was the week before. Point is, they had just recently watched my Pal World commentary, and they recognized me because, me being infinitely smart, I have the same profile picture and the same name in that Discord as I do everywhere. So if someone knows my YouTube name, my profile picture, they can recognize me. Probably messed up on my part, but like I mentioned, I think I mentioned this, I don't really care what people see me doing, so long as I'm not doing something actively illegal, which I don't do. The last illegal thing I did, funnily enough, was like 20 minutes ago, because emulation is technically piracy. That's kind of funny. Yeah, the 2 is kind of warming up on me. But anyway, it was just a complete, just like, not 180, just absolutely, totally, completely unexpected that on this random horny Discord, I will say one thing and then someone immediately recognizes me. And then I had another person pop in that same server, which I'm pretty sure was not the person I was talking about art, because they popped up later. They also recognized me for, unfortunately, the types of players in Warframe, which I assume they checked out my channel. I doubt they just recognized me purely based on, name and profile picture and said, "Hey, you're the types of players in Warframe person." Especially because my name was not Coyote when that was going around. So I regrettably got recognized as the person who made types of players in Warframe, which, yay, I got recognized. No, it was for types of players, which is my second least favorite video I've ever made. And basically, just to keep things at least a little bit short, that ended up like snowballing, which I was not expecting, into one or two extra people going like, "Oh yeah, actually I do know you," after they presumably checked out my channel. And we're gonna go down to half size. And more importantly, some other people who didn't know who I was, deciding to check out my channel and see what all this hubbub was about. And they ended up subscribing. So if you are currently watching this video, hi, hello, I appreciate your traction, and this is your confirmation that actually was me in that Discord. Assuming you just talking to the people from that Discord if they are here. Assuming you checked the like art section of the Discord, then you can probably also guess purely from the content of this video that I am that person as well, because, you know, I posted a whip of this exact thing in the Discord. But with that being said, hello to those new people. It's great to see you. I'd imagine, given my experience with people recognize me and saying, yeah, I'm gonna sub, that'll probably just end up turning into, we'll just do this for now. That'll probably just end up to maybe 1 or 2 people sticking around and then everyone else just kind of moving on and forgetting, which I'm fine with. I would be, not delirious, delusional to think that my content fits for literally everyone, and everyone who checks out my channel is going to stick around forever. That's not how life works. But for the people who do stick around, hi, hello, great to see you. It's still super weird to me that that situation in that specific Discord happened just out of nowhere because of a single thing I said. I've been recognized before, particularly in Warframe, usually because, not necessarily because I, like somebody just saw my name and recognized me, because my name in Warframe is still Snowy Zorark. So, seeing as how Snowy Zorark was never my name on YouTube, and I am yet to change my name. Actually, was my name ever Jericho in Warframe? Whoa, that's weird. I just had that thought. I'll come back to that in a second. But all I was trying to say is the only time I've been recognized in Warframe was, I think, exactly one time there was a person who recognized the fashion on whatever Warframe I was playing. It was probably Zephyr, and asked me, hey, are you this person? Which, that one was my favorite, because I like to think I have particularly distinct fashion in Warframe. I try to have particularly distinct fashion in Warframe, because, wow, some of the fashion I've seen people use, yeah, it's tiny, and it'll look fine from a distance. But aside from that one point of someone recognizing fashion and asking me, most other times I am recognized in Warframe is because I'm not necessarily recognized, as in someone sees something and goes, hey, that's this person. I casually, like, bring up, I was just editing a video, or sorry, I was checking my YouTube notifications or something, just casual like that. Trying not to, like, shill, but just casually bring up as a point of conversation that I have as a YouTube channel, just so anyone talks in that game. Right, I didn't do the jewel yet. That's okay. So we'll just make that erasure, I guess. So, as I was saying, most times I get recognized is not pure recognition, it is just me pointing out, I have a YouTube channel, blah blah blah, this and this. And then someone asks, what's your channel? And I say it's, well, at the time it would be Jericho. Or nowadays it's Coyote. And they check me out, and usually, because, you know, I'm playing Warframe, they'll look through my videos and go, oh, you made the types of players in Warframe. I remember watching that X many years ago. Which makes sense, because, you know, it's a Warframe, like, jokey satire video. So, people in Warframe have probably seen it, especially given how many views it got. And I'm bent to this day at how many views it got. Primarily because, you know, I was not expecting that video to get popular, so I didn't bother not using copyrighted music. So, despite, I brought this up before, but despite how many views the types of players in Warframe had, I did not get a lick of ad revenue from it because I used copyrighted music. If I were most decisions in my life, I'd like to think that I would not change given the chance, and I like to be happy with the decisions that I have. However, if I were to have the chance to go back and not use copyrighted music in the types of players in Warframe, I absolutely would, because I haven't checked the analytics for that video in a while, because it depresses me. But the last time I checked, which was multiple years ago, the estimated revenue from that video, which I'm not getting a cent of, was over $1,000. And that just kind of hurts, because I'm never going to see a cent of that, because I used copyrighted music and it kills me inside every time I think about it. Granted, that is not nearly enough money to, like, sustain myself on its own. Not even fucking close. It's $1,000. But, however, that is $1,000 that I do not have, but could have had given the right context, and that's just kind of sad. What kind of shape do you want to do? Do you want to go... I think we'll go a similar shape than that. But yeah, the ultimate point was that when I get recognized in Warframe, which is usually where I get recognized, it's because I casually bring up I have a YouTube channel, they check out my channel, and then they recognize a video that they saw, and that's pretty much it. So this was the first time that I was properly recognized in a public setting. It's a public Discord, but you have to go looking for the link, and you have to know where to look. So it was I don't want to say shocking, more jarring, I would say, to have it so... Oh wait, no, I need to fix the opacity. Have it be effectively my first time being in public, quote unquote, and getting recognized for my YouTube completely unprompted, which is really cool, and also still really weird to adjust to. I notice a little white line here that we gotta fix. Oh, and I gotta... There we go. And it was a very short exchange. I did hijack that specific part of the thread for a little bit, which I felt bad about, but I think all in all, that was a cool experience, and I'm happy it happened, because not only did I get the cool experience of, hey, people know who I am in some regard, I also potentially got a few more subscribers and like recurring viewers from it, hopefully. So I'm not fully sure how much this we'll actually make an entirely new group for the other one. Not entirely sure how much this video here will encourage those people to stick around, but hey, maybe this is something you like, just kind of me doing my own thing, drawing and talking, which that's the entire point of Let's Draw. Since I don't think I've ever really addressed this in a video so far, which there was another thing I was going to address. I don't remember. I feel like I covered it just through talking. I don't remember. If it comes back to me, it comes back to me. If it's important, I guess I'll post it down in the comments or in the description, if I remember. Speaking of, oh, wait, no, yeah. See, I had to skip music just now because I didn't feel like listening to a specific song. But I haven't really addressed this in a video before, I don't think. But the style of content that I generally try to go for and make is listenable content that you can have on in the background, because that is the type of YouTube media, YouTube content that I personally consume. So I figured for my channel, it would probably be the best option to go with something that I know I enjoy, and trying to tailor it to that specific demographic, so other people who have the same interest can go to my channel for more of that style of video. So while I do generally do that whole YouTuber thing of trying to be a bit more energetic, not necessarily loud, but more involved and active, I do try to keep the general tone of my videos a more low-key, relaxed, grounded sort of tone, so they are more easily listenable for people who are like working, or ideally this would be really cool, and if you're an artist, drawing along with me, maybe not just drawing the same thing I'm drawing, but just drawing your own thing while I'm drawing my own thing. That for Let's Draw specifically, I would love if I picked up artists who wanted something to listen to in the background and they started listening to Let's Draw. I need to do this series more because I want that to be a thing. that would be awesome. But I just wanted to bring that up because I have been doing that style of video for however long, and I've never fully addressed that is what I was trying to do. That's why I do long-form Let's Plays as my specific draw. Most Let's Plays, well, not really nowadays, but a lot of Let's Plays back in the day, they were condensed down to 15 minutes, short and punchy, get to the point, do the things, and then, just ship the video. Back in the day, the most common length for a YouTube Let's Play was, what wasn't that? I guess I selected somewhere. Was 15, 10, 20 minutes. Which, even back then, when the state of YouTube Let's Plays was entirely different, I didn't really enjoy that because I wanted longer episodes. I was always that person in the comments asking the respective YouTuber, hey, you should do longer videos because I want to watch more. So when I finally had the chance to start my own YouTube channel and post whatever content I wanted, that follows the guidelines, of course, I could try and fill that niche of wanting longer content that I could put on in the background, and just kind of do other shit while listening to that content. Because, and I bring this up potentially too much, but it is a part of my life that I have to deal with literally every day. But I have ADD and potentially, we'll say undiagnosed ADHD as well. But specifically, I know for a fact I have ADD. That's why 90% of the time, a good 90% of the time, I am drawing, I slow down my talking, or I have to take a second to realize, think about what I'm doing, because I can't really think and do at the same time. It takes up the same portion of my brain. I'm also very active with my hands when I talk, which is another reason that I can't really draw and talk at the same time too well, because I need to be using my hands for both drawing and talking. Do I want to move this up? I think I do. We'll take this out for a second. But, the reason I bring that up is for me specifically, it's different for everyone, but for me specifically, if I have something to preoccupy we'll say the back portion of my brain, it helps me focus with the front portion of my brain infinitely, just an infinite amount of help. It makes things so much easier. I can't really just sit down and get something done unless I have something else going on in my head that I can subconsciously pay attention to. For most people, that sort of problem can be fixed with fidget toys and stuff, which I do also have. I think I have, hold on, where's my cube? It's here somewhere. Oh, yeah, there we go. Obviously I don't have face cam or anything, but I can click it. I have this fidget cube here, which is probably amazing for the audio. It's got a flipper on it, it's got an analog stick, it's got some wheels and buttons, it's also old and squeaky. But most people, the fidget toys really help with focusing stuff because you can preoccupy your hands while doing shit. And having that extra little outlet to... Did I do a ring erasure on the other hand? No, I haven't, that's what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, with most people, they can do pretty well if they just have some way to fidget with their hands. But while the fidget item, we'll say, it does help for me, it is not the most effective for being able to divide my focus and actually pay attention. The best way for me to focus is to have something like a YouTube video or music or just something to listen to in the back of my mind while working. Even now, with me trying to do this episode of Let's Draw currently right now, I have YouTube Music open and the background turned down way low so I can hear myself talk. And, you know, obviously I'm not recording desktop audio because I'm listening to copyrighted music. But just having that extra little thing to preoccupy the, like, back portion of my mind that is always active 100% of the time, it helps so much in my ability to concentrate that I want to try to reach out, isn't the word, but I guess it also works, to other people with a similar version of my own, like, attention deficit disorder. I'm not wholly going for, like, exclusively, you know, accessibility content where, you know, I have, like, every video subtitled so people who are deaf can understand what's going on. I'm not doing exclusively, you know, accessibility content like that, because it's just that's so much fucking effort. That is so much effort to cover everyone. But I do try my best to put in as many, like, subtle little things that would help people with specific disabilities and stuff like that in my videos, like my thumbnails. I try my absolute hardest to not use any reds or greens if I possibly can, because red-green color blindness is the, like, most common form of color blindness, which I do use pinks and I do use teals, which is basically the same thing, but if I'm understanding that form of color blindness correctly, you still see pinks and teals. They're just not as clear. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works, because it has to do with specific, like, rods and cones in your eye that perceive red and green. I'm not an optometrist. Is that an eye doctor? I think it's optometrist. I'm not an optometrist. I don't know specifics, and I'm not colorblind. At least, no, I'm straight up not colorblind. I don't know for sure, but even if I'm totally wrong and my thumbnails are still as hard to, like, the colors are still as wrong as they would be otherwise, there's still that intent there of trying my best to not use reds and greens in my thumbnails, purely because that is the most common form of color blindness, and it would make my thumbnails still be like notable and pop out to people even with that form of color blindness. Obviously, there's many different forms of color blindness, and if I attempted to try and cover every type of color blindness, so anyone, regardless of their ability to see aside from totally blind, would be able to see my thumbnails, that would be impossible. So I do what I can and just try and at least alleviate the effects of the most common form of color blindness, while still retaining, you know, my whole thing of my channel color being pink, because it's my favorite color. And just to point this out, because elephant in the room, all of my layers here for the people who are that form of colorblind are red, and there's a couple here that are green, I think. No, it's like purples, pinks, blues, and yellows, but it's mainly red. But this is just because this is a personal project of mine. This was not meant for Let's Draw, and even with, like, Let's Draw, if I do color stuff like this is just for me. This is not meant for anyone else, so I don't count this. But thumbnails are public, so I try to be at least better with accessibility and stuff like that. So the whole reason I brought that up just now, I think what I'm gonna do before I move on is I'm gonna try making the middle finger one go away. See how that looks. Yeah, no, I like all three. So the whole reason I brought that up is the biggest reason I but the biggest reason I decided to go with background listening, like low-key, put it on the background, long-form content, is because that is the specific form of content that helps me focus the most, and I wanted to, on top of being able to make content that is used to entertain, I wanted to try and reach out to people with that similar sort of, like, requirement for being able to focus, so there's, like, a bigger library and I could actually have an audience I could reach out to and try to help. Basically, the point I was trying to make with that whole tangent about, like, disabilities and colorblindness and stuff. Wow, that was quite a tangent. And basically all I have done is add a couple rings. Crazy. Actually, I don't think there's much more I want to add. I feel like this is fine. And let me zoom in real quick. Let's cut the whole just talking about nothing thing for a second and just kind of look at what we got here. I guess if I really wanted to go all in on, you know, like jewelry and piercings and stuff, I could give her like an eyebrow piercing or something. And for anyone who might be thinking of giving her a septum piercing, I answer no, because septum piercings are gross. So I'm gonna flip through real quick. Not flip through, just kind of scroll through and see if there's anything I want to add. Like this, I feel like is visually interesting enough with her earrings and the like. I keep wanting to call it a gold encrusted scrunchie, but that's not what it is. But it's kind of what it is. But I feel like this, like up here, is visually interesting enough. Especially seeing as how when I actually do line art and stuff, I can do nitty-gritty details and have these split into gold and like jewels and stuff, which I just wanted to point out real quick. This is super simple. This little thing right here. I really like this. Just like this extra little detail of having the little Nyakuza logo on her earring, which full view you can't even tell what that is. But I think it's fun. But on a whole, top of the head, I would say is wholly visually interesting. Here, let's do that whole accessibility thing I was talking about and make something that's not green or red. Let's do purple. Yeah, there you go. So we'll say that. Oop. Oh wait, no, I gotta do. There we go. We'll say. Whoop. Top of head is visually interesting. Take a look at that. Zoom in, and we'll just have the boxed portion. Visually interesting. Yeah. Because it includes like her eye and stuff, the top of her eye, the like makeup I'm gonna do. You got the golden crested scrunchie, which is a fun term. You got earrings, ponytail, which is gonna look a lot better when I do shading and stuff. I would say that is visually interesting enough. So now let's move down a little bit and check this portion, which I think absolutely, yes, this is visually interesting enough. There is a whole lot going on. Oh, whoops. So obviously we got her face details, her fancy curly whiskers, her not necessarily heterochromatic eyes, because just, you know, one of them's injured, which, well, that's a fun thing I could talk about. But we got this cool like Nyakuza choker that I'm very satisfied with, rings, a necklace going over like the cross like strap thing on her dress, chains, bracelets. That's visually interesting as well. And now let's check her hippie portion, which I'm always keen on. Yeah, that's gonna look this. I like drawing chains. If one thing I have learned from the Roxy thing is I like drawing chains. It takes a long ass time, especially when I'm a dipshit and I make it harder for myself. But I really like drawing chains because I really like doing gold. Gold and metals are a whole lot of fun to render. But purely because the folds, which will look much better when I can shade them, and then the chains when I can actually render metal, that's gonna look visually interesting. So I think we're good there as well. So I guess like from here, the like bottom portion of her body is not very visually interesting. There's not a whole lot going on down here. But at the same time, I'm not sure what I could do. I guess I could do some, like potentially like some lacy trimming on the dress. I might try? I think I might try that. Okay, so before I get into that and completely lose track of the thing I want to talk about, the Roxy drawing, why have I not finished that yet? The short answer is I haven't wanted to. And the reason I haven't wanted to is because basically ever since I got out of the sketch phase for that, where's my dress layer? There it is. Basically since I got out of the, actually make this a sublayer in here, or subgroup. Since I got out of the sketch phase with the Roxy drawing, I hadn't liked the way that it looked. Wow, that was a pain in the ass to say the most simple fucking message in the world. When I got out of the sketch phase, I didn't like the way the Roxy drawing looked. So my plan was to... should that go up higher? Maybe, but we'll roll with this for now. My plan was to redo the line art because I felt like it ended up looking off, just like how these look off. I want to be more round. It ended up looking off, and I wanted to redo the line art to try and be a bit more in line with my style rather than like on model proportions, which I feel like was my main problem with why I didn't like the look of the Roxy drawing in the position that it was by the end of that third episode of Let's Draw. Yeah, no, let's not. Let's maybe do less steep. So I was going to try and redo it, just the line art, not the whole thing, but just redo the sketch to try and be more in line with specifically my style, because I've noticed I tend not like to stray out of my comfort zone of my cartoony big eyes, like distinct head shape art style. I don't like getting out of my comfort zone. And I tried that a little bit too much, I think largely because I was concerned with, like, subconsciously concerned with the sort of comments I would get if I did get, like, go way too off model with it. On top of the, like, subtle stress of potentially some comments I could get of the whole concept of that being, can you use AI as a reference, which was the whole gimmick of that episode. So I was trying to be a little bit too safe and try to go on model with the reference of Roxy I had, and I ended up just kind of making something that looked not like Roxy and not like my art. So I would say that's definitely a misstep that I was way overthinking things, and I made it too hard on myself for no reason. So I wanted to redo it more in my style rather than trying to worry too much about it being on model with Roxy specifically. But then the question is, why haven't I done that? Well, because motivation. Funnily enough, around the time I was thinking about redoing the Roxy drawing was also the time that, hey, it's January, you know, that means seasonal depression. And seasonal depression hits like a goddamn truck when it hits your fucking motivation, let me tell you this much. It is not great. So, on top of the fact I was not feeling too great about this Roxy drawing that I put multiple days of effort into trying to make look good, it was also around the time that I usually get hit with seasonal depression. So that those two things mixed together, they did not make me want to redo that. So I essentially just kind of stopped worrying about doing that one specifically all too much, and I just started thinking about other stuff that I wanted to draw. Generally what I wanted to draw and not what I felt like I had to draw. And that was around the time, not exactly at the same time, but around the time that I was like, hey, you know what? I looked back at that thumbnail I drew for episode 11 of my Hat in Time series. It was 11. I was like, you know what? I'm very happy about that drawing of Empress I did. Which, granted, was also not fully in my style. I tried to be more on model with her head shape, but in the end, I didn't end up going fully on model, and I didn't end up going fully in my style, but I leaned much more towards my style. And I feel like that contributed much more to my satisfaction with that specific thumbnail, because to this day, it is still one of my favorite thumbnails I've done. I think I did a great job on that, which that's an important thing you need to learn about artists. Remember, knowing how to congratulate yourself and appreciate something you've done, which I've been working on. And with that in mind, of me really liking that thumbnail, just because I got to draw a character I like, and I feel like I did a pretty good job meshing the on-model appearance of said character with my style and making a satisfactory image, which actually I think it's in my refs layer right now, so hold on. Hold on. We gotta find it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a bit weird, which is purely from me trying to be a little bit more on model, because her head shape in game is pretty weird. So I'm trying to mesh that with my style and, you know, trying to throw on the obligatory black lipstick. It made it look a little bit weird, but on a whole, I'm still satisfied with this. So with that in mind, I was like, hey, you know what? I haven't really drawn Empress since then, despite the fact that I'm literally fucking obsessed with this character. So I was like, you know what? I've only ever drawn her for a thumbnail. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna draw her not for a thumbnail. I'm gonna draw her for me. And the funny thing about that is, I'm not sure if anyone else is in a Discord that like has this bot or anything, but there's this bot that has a command called Waifu Roulette. It's like a little mini game you can do, and you can flip through a bunch of different like anime characters and like game characters, and you can react to those to like marry that character. And a catalyst for me wanting to draw Empress was actually me the other day casually rolling Waifu Roulette in another server I'm in, and rolling the Empress and absolutely flipping my shit, as you can most definitely expect from a simp like me, which I took screenshots of and sent to someone, so I'll make sure to have Snowy put those in editing. I almost said the actual thing, so I just ended up basically caving and be like, nah, fuck it, no, now is the time. God is calling me, I need to draw Empress now. And that's basically the idea I had for drawing this. So I started spitballing ideas, brainstorming of what I wanted it to specifically be. So much porn came to mind. So much porn. Which I very easily could have done, and I tried a little bit, but, you know, I, funnily enough, have no experience with actually drawing anything lewd. Looking at, absolutely. Drawing, not really. I've drawn very, very, very little, and even then, it was never like a finalized project, so. But aside from all of the insanely horny ideas that came to mind, I was just like, you know what I like? I like pretty women in dresses. So I'm gonna do that. And we have this. If there's two things that I have experience with, it's drawing fun clothes and drawing thick women. So being able to mesh those two things with a character I'm actually obsessed with just kind of works out. And so I started perusing the Google internets for outfit ideas, pose ideas, etc., what you do with art, which I did not use AI this time. As a quick look at my refs layer will show, but currently I'm doing selecting, so we'll just do that real quick. As a quick look at my refs layer will show, which is here. This isn't porn. There we go. I did actually just kind of look up stuff. Is this? No, that's the general body shape thing from Vixie. That was porn. Well, censor that. All right, just center this whole portion of the screen as I look through things that I can actually show on YouTube. Not a whole lot. I basically have what I can show on YouTube on screen. I did just take stuff from the internet. Is this flipped? I don't know that signature, and there's no like link here. I don't know who drew this, but I didn't draw this, and I took it from the internet. I know it was one of the first few results when I looked up a Hat in Time Empress. So if you're curious of what artist it is, just look this up and look for this image, because I don't know who it is. Or, you know, I could just put it in editing. Wow, editing. my brain's doing great today. I did not use AI this time, because as the experience with the Roxy drawing has informed me, you can use AI as reference for actual art, but you probably shouldn't, because it's gonna come out looking weird. That's another reason I haven't really done anything with the Roxy drawing as well, because I kind of want to just redo it on a whole, not using AI, because largely that project was a test to see if you actually could use AI for reference. And I feel like I very much got my answer with the fact that I really ended up just drawing something I didn't really like and didn't really enjoy. So, on top of the seasonal depression thing I mentioned, I also just kind of want to redo it, which is a lot of work, because, you know, I spent multiple days working on that, trying to get it to look right and everything, and now I'll have to basically redo it again, which is gonna... I've never... The only time I've redrawn something was the various iterations of Snowy as, like, my art abilities, like, enhanced and improved over time. Yeah, I don't really... Obviously that looks like trash because, you know, I just drew it directly, but I don't think I'm going to do lace on the bottom. So, I guess, seeing as how this was just kind of a throwaway video where I don't really do anything, this was more so just a commentary video, which I guess I really haven't done in a while, but I addressed a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. I could end this video here, and I'm not really thinking about anything else I can talk about. Right, okay, I was able to come back to what I was talking about before. So, this is basically going to be the end of the video, by the way. This is going to be a much shorter video, because I'm just treating this as a commentary. The idea for this video, not this video, but this project, purely came from I was feeling bad, I wanted to draw a character I really liked, and I wanted to mix that with something I just enjoyed doing, which is drawing fun clothes. Which, let me pull up my refs layer real quick. The funny thing is, where's the dress picture? Here it is. When I was looking through Google at various like different clothing options for this specific piece, I came across this dress and I was like, oh, that's fun and subtly sexy, and it's got like the hip cutouts, which I love, so I'm gonna go with this. Which I don't know if this is like an art meme clothing, you know, like the Virgin Killer sweater and everything. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this isn't like an art meme thing, which makes it all the stranger that like 3 days later, I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw someone who drew Rouge the Bat wearing this specific dress with like a picture of like this exact picture in the drawing that they made. I was like, that's a funny coincidence, but I guess if this was like one of the first 100 or so results on Google for like a night, what did I think that showed up for fancy negligee was the thing I typed in, which that is not negligee, that is just an evening dress. Maybe I did type in evening dress, I don't remember. But I just wanted to point that out, that I find that kind of funny that me and this other artist potentially just bumped into the same dress and are like, I need to draw a character I like in that. But the reason I'm deciding to close off this video here is I have largely run out of things that I wanted to say, so this video is just going to be a whole lot of some substanceless nonsense from now on, which substanceless nonsense doesn't really get anything done, as its name would imply, as well as I'm kind of satisfied with the sketch. Her lower body here is not very visually interesting, as I mentioned, but that will... I feel like I can amend that in like rendering and shading and whatnot. And with that in mind, with the super secret special alt that I'm going to do for Patreon, and I probably can't show on YouTube just to be safe, any sketch I need to do is going to be on specifically that version. And when I do line art, I'm going to do that version first because it shows the most of her body, and it'll make it a lot easier to draw the dress on top of that when I actually get around to that. So, seeing as how for the next however long I'm going to be drawing specifically that alt that I probably can't show on YouTube, I think I will cut this video here. So hold on, let me make the refs layer go away, and is the Let's Draw group still here? Yeah, it's here. It's here somewhere. Hold on. Where did I put it? Here. Yeah. Okay. And let's zoop it. Nope. I want to go zoop it down just to have a little logo. I put unnecessary amount of effort into for how simple it is. There we go. I think that'll work for this video. I said what I wanted to. I hope you enjoyed me just talking about stuff I felt like I wanted to talk about. That was largely the point of this series anyway. Just me talking about stuff I want to talk about while I draw. I didn't really do a whole lot, but for those of you who do not follow me on Twitter and do not support me on Patreon, which I would appreciate if you did, either one, honestly, this is your first little sneak peek at this upcoming project that I'm actually going to put my absolute all into, which I mentioned on my Patreon, but you wouldn't have seen that if you don't support me on Patreon. So with all that being said, I hope you genuinely enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that like button and to hit the subscribe button to become a pup if you haven't already, and to hit the bell so it actually does something. If you want to support me in the channel, consider becoming a patron for just $5 a month, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks. I didn't do the Patreon plug, but you know, I kind of indirectly did that for the entire intro portion of the video. So largely we're all in the clear. That's all I wanted to say. A huge thank you to my current patrons. I love all of you. Your support is always very much appreciated. My name's Vixie, and I will see you guys in the next one.